I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean we?
I just watched the film last night and it was amazing. I cried, I laughed. It was a lot of emotions going through me, honestly. I think what's really interesting about this film is that joy and anxiety, you kind of go into it thinking anxiety is this antagonist in the film, but really like she's also trying to do what's best for Riley. And I love that. Maya, can you talk about where you pulled from to channel anxiety and, what about playing this role kind of like spoke to you, was like real for you?
I created this little character for myself in my own life to help me articulate to the people around me that when I was anxious, that I knew I was being a little kooky. Like where I knew I was kind of overdoing it. But I was like, okay, so we need to have this, and then we need to have this, and then that. And the character was like, oh, okay, no, I'm just a little worried. It's okay. I'm just a little stressed about it, but it's all going to be fine. I know it's going to be fine. I'm just going to lie down on the couch for a minute, right? Okay. And it was just a way to communicate with my friends and family. Like, I'm doing not okay, perfect, but I know I'm not doing perfect, and it's not your fault. It's me. And I just kind of used that character and kind of translated this person I'd built for myself in Riley's head.
And Amy, I think it's so interesting in this film, first movie, Joy was very much like all positive and happy-go-lucky, but we sort of see like a sort of defeated side of her in this after kind of being replaced. What was that like sort of leaning into that part of this emotion, I guess?
It was super satisfying to get to play an emotion that's having this emotion that she feels completely confused. Like Joy doesn't really seem often very confused. She always knows what to do. And so to have her be worried that she wasn't needed anymore, and that of course mirrors what a parent feels when their kid is starting to like be their own person, because Joy is very parental. I loved that mirroring. I really relate to it. And the other thing that I loved about it is that it would be really weird right now to make a movie where Joy saves the day. It's not a great time right now. There's been a lot of crazy stuff, especially in the past decade. And Pixar is not going to gaslight you. Like Pixar is like, yeah, there's a lot to be worried about. Like if Joy just was like, come on, guys, like let's do it, everyone would say like, okay, like toxic positivity. So yeah. I feel like they really treated Joy very respectfully, but also respectfully, Joy, you don't always have all the answers. It's okay. Like don't worry, be happy, like get over it, don't worry. That doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, like, Joy is realizing, like, oh, as she gets older, she's going to experience less joy, which I was like, oh, God, this is too real.
It's so real. It's so real. But I would just say the specific distinction about that is you have to make room for it. And I do think that, like anything in life, you have to just start, as you get older, that's one thing you realize, oh, I have to make room for fill in the blank. Friends, exercise, open-mindedness. Like, you have to make room for it because you start getting, if you don't watch out, you start getting, like, smaller and smaller in mind. And so you just have to make room for it.
Yeah, very set in your ways.
Yeah.
So I'm interested, was there something in this movie that after doing it, you sort of approach your emotions differently, kind of being able to visualize this? I feel like I kind of understood like, oh, like my fear is not really there to be like working against me, like it's there to protect me. Was there a moment like that for you doing this?
Well, there's a moment in this film where Riley's unhappy and sadness really wants to take over. And she hears some bad news and she's trying to not cry. And Joy says, Riley steps out of the car and then Joy hands the controls over to Sadness, and Sadness, pushes the lever and she cries. And I love that moment because what that moment was like, you have to feel your feelings. It's just like, it's okay to pause and like to cry outside of the car, but don't forget to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that really shows you how their relationship has changed.
Yeah.
And how they have learned to work together.
Yeah.
Which is so beautiful. I also love the moment where your magic dust at the very end, Riley is calling to you and it's like, Riley needs you.
Yes.
And that's so beautiful because especially with what your character has been through and this feeling of maybe not being as necessary as she felt she was, be like, oh no, there are still like, and then that whole thing where you do take control again and it goes so well.
And then, sorry, we're just like praising each other. But like, and when anxiety kind of goes like this, like anxiety goes like after you, it's too much. Like I didn't even know that was going to happen.
I didn't either.
So good.
You guys are going to make me cry over again. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. Honestly, just a fantastic film. And like I said, I'm tearing up right now. I'm going through it. I can't wait for everybody else to watch this film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.